Are you ready for this? Are you ready to ditch those restrictive diets and embrace unstoppable self-love? If you are, join me and my guest, nutrition expert Andrea Mathis, as we discover the power of positivity, mind, body, and soul. Tune in for practical tips surrounding body acceptance and a conversation that will leave you motivated and ready to take on the world. Let's ignite your wellness revolution. Welcome to Moving Mountains in 3-inch Heels. I'm your host, Julia Jordan. Moving mountains in 3-inch heels pretty much says it all when it comes to women. We can make anything happen. Not only can women do anything, we do everything except prioritize ourselves. But it's time to. It's time to prioritize your needs, your wants, your hopes, your dreams, your purpose. It's time for each of us to say each day, today I start with me. If you're ready to laugh, learn, and leap into a healthier, happier you, hit that subscribe button and join our wellness family. Let's go on this journey together of self-consideration as we discover how to start with me. Welcome to Moving Mountains in 3-inch Heels. I am your host, Julia Jordan, and today we are going to be talking about positivity, mind, body, and soul. And I cannot think of a better person than my guest, Andrea Mathis, to have this conversation with. Hi, Andy.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I am so happy you are here. I've been following you a while. That still sounds creepy, even though people know what I'm talking about on Instagram, not in real life. But where you got me was with your DCC post, and I will get into that in a minute. But let me tell everyone a little bit about you, okay? Andrea Mathis, MA, RDN, LD, also known as Andy, is a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and owner of nourishing food blogs, Beautiful Eats and Things, and Little Eats and Things. She is also the author of the complete book of smoothies, 115 recipes to nourish, heal, and energize. She is also the founder of Beautifully Social, an exclusive social media and branding course. Her unconventional and practical approach to providing wholesome recipes and body-inclusive focused nutrition advice has been featured in the nation's leading media outlets, including Good Morning America, Women's Health, Prevention, HuffPost, Shape, and many more. She is a contributing editor for Eating Well, The Kitchen, Food and Nutrition, just to name a few. She is based in Alabama, and when she's not running after her 2 boys, Andy enjoys creating content to encourage self-love and promote body positivity. You're amazing. So what I was talking about with the DCC, I was already following you. I found you on Eating Well. You're one of my favorites that does blogs for them. When I saw you in your Dallas Cowboys cheerleader uniform, I'm like, I love her so much. You have such confidence and you exude it. And I love that. You're such an inspiration. You're a businesswoman, you're an entrepreneur, you're a registered dietitian, you're a mom, you're an influencer. I could keep on going. I mean, you do everything. I mean, you're a boss. Let's just call it what it is. One of the things that's so incredible about you, though, and why I think you're an inspiration, is you are coming from a place of firsthand experience out of love, I think. You have overcome the struggles that you now help people with. At one point you struggled with, and I'm not sure that you had an eating disorder, but you struggled. You were taking extreme measures to lose weight, and you were getting positive reinforcement because nobody saw the behind the scenes. Right. And finally you're like, everybody has different body types and there is not one kind of beautiful.
Yes.
What was that one thing, that final straw, that catalyst that was like, I'm doing it and I'm for real doing it?
Yes. I was a dietitian, I've been a dietitian for maybe about, for so long. maybe about 15 years or so. So it's been a minute, but I also worked as a makeup artist. And so working as a makeup artist, my whole wardrobe was black. And I was so excited. I was like, I get to wear black because black is slimming. Black is supposed to kind of make you blend in a little bit. And so the thing that kind of had that light bulb moment was when I was going out with some friends. I looked at my wardrobe, all black clothes. And I was like, okay, nothing about it. but it was a theme and they wanted everyone to wear like colors. And I didn't have any colors, but I love colors. Like I love pink. I love it so much. But I didn't have any of it in my wardrobe because I was told that if you wear bright colors, it's going to make you stand out. And so I believe at that moment, I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Why am
Yeah,
I trying to blend in? Why am I trying to hide? And at that moment, I knew that I needed to make some type of change in my life.
I got it. What was that first step? What did you do that put you on the right path that was sustainable?
Yes. I believe the first step was getting rid of the extreme dieting and the restrictive eating. So, all my life, I would either carry notebooks or have my phone with me to track what I was eating. And if it was a really restrictive day, it was like, oh, good job. And I
Right.
ate something outside of that that was more indulgent, I would really beat myself up about it. And so I got rid of those notebooks. I actually got rid of the scale. I would weigh myself every day. So I got rid of our scale. And just those first steps put me on the path to looking at the overall picture of health and not just a number on the scale.
Because we do associate skinny with healthy, and
Right.
they're not the same thing. And you pursued healthy.
Yes.
And that's what's so important. When did you get to the point where you felt like I'm in a good place and now I can help other people?
I started posting my recipes on social media because I would post
Hmm.
makeup. So then I started posting recipes and just how me and my husband, we were just starting just to be more mindful about the foods that we were eating. So it wasn't
Hmm.
this huge weight loss journey. It was more so, okay, we need more plants this week or we need more. So I started posting those recipes and just kind of telling a little backstory about why we're having this tonight. And I believe that people resonated with that because it wasn't about, oh, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds. It was, no, this kind of upset my stomach. I feel like I want to feel better. So maybe let me try this recipe instead. And
Hmm.
people began to connect with that and they wanted more of that content. So I was like, well, maybe I need to start sharing more and actually put myself out there a little bit more.
Yeah. And it's developed into what it's now evolved into. And I know you're just beginning, even though you're doing amazing. One of the things, and I think women do this a lot. I think we're conditioned from
Mhm.
day one of life, whether it's our family, society, a combination, and sometimes our families don't even realize they're doing it. But we feel like we have to be perfect.
Yes.
A lot of energy gets put into our
Right.
body and what we look like. And now, from a healthy body standpoint, there's more conversations about accepting yourself as healthy. I was watching, don't Bravo shame me. I was watching Bravo trash, okay, because I live for Bravo. We all do. I was watching, it was Southern Charm. No, it was Southern Hospitality. And
Okay.
anyway, there's girls they're beautiful, but there's
Mhm.
two girls this season that are already beautiful, had nice figures, and they're trying to get skinnier. And I
Okay.
think they're like Gen Z. And I'm
Yeah.
just thinking, like, what generation is finally going to be like, I'm enough. Not only am I enough, I'm more than enough. Why do we keep repeating this? What do you have? Give us some insight. Why are women doing this to ourselves?
Society plays a big part in it. I felt like we were going in the right direction with more inclusivity, more body positivity, and then it shifted because I believe everyone started with the weight loss medication, which is fine if that's what you choose to do. But that received so much attention, and people begin to just get smaller and smaller. And when you get thinner, a lot of times society will praise that.
Hmm.
So kind of feed off that acceptance. You're being praised because you're smaller. Everyone wants to invite you to things like you're the new popular person, and that becomes the new normal. And I
Mm.
believe that that's what's happened. And people see how well you're treated when you fit the typical societal mold of beauty standards. So people want that, and I believe it's just going to have to take society as a whole to start treating all bodies with that same respect.
So it really comes down to maybe acceptance and approval,
Yes.
which we all need, but we can get addicted to. I was wondering this about myself, and I'm wondering if this resonates with other women. I kind of always focus on weight and losing weight. Whether I have to lose weight or not is kind of irrelevant to
Mhm.
actually trying to lose weight. And if I think about growing up, thinking of yourself was selfish to the point that it's a crime. And again, it goes not just to family, but also society for women. I think this about myself now, and I just kind of came up with this a couple weeks ago, and I'm wondering if this maybe makes sense to you.
Okay.
Is focusing on our weight as a woman our loophole for being able to focus on ourselves without it being a crime? It's acceptable to think about ourselves if we're thinking about losing weight.
Yes, and I think that's a part of it, but I think it also may come to control because a lot of us, like, when we look at what's going on in the world, we can't control everything, but we can control our weight, if we do certain things, restrict what we're eating. So I think it comes to that portion, and it's almost like, well, if I can control this and I've got my life on track, it makes you feel accomplished. So I think that may also have something to do with it.
I think you're right. I think, like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but eating disorders have a lot to do with control more so than the food itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you wrote a blog, and I was like, we always hear about eating disorders, but there's things I've never thought about. And I was like, oh my goodness, because you're talking about communities that are underrepresented that I didn't even really think about. And I think a lot of people didn't either. And I want to read something from your blog to quote you because I want to get it exactly right. But what you said in the blog is, in a world that often prioritizes thinness as the epitome of health and beauty, individuals in larger bodies face unique challenges, particularly when it comes to the detection and recognition of eating disorders. Furthermore, within the Black community, the conversation surrounding eating disorders remains hidden and often goes unaddressed or addressed in silence. So it's not being talked about and it's going undetected. So how would someone even know that they potentially could have an eating disorder? And if they identify that they may, where do they go for help and get the type of treatment that they deserve?
Well, it's tough because a lot of times you assume that an eating disorder consists of like not eating at all, like anorexia or bulimia. Like those are kind of the popular ones that people think of. So if you're not doing those things, then you may think, well, I don't have an eating disorder. But it can also include, like if you're constant binging, followed by cycles of restriction, which is what I would do. Like I would maybe go without eating for so long, and then when I just really was hungry, then I would just binge all out on the food and then try to find ways to get rid of that binge. And then also maybe just counting calories excessively, maybe only 500 calories a day. That also is a restrictive eating pattern. And I think that it takes some time to realize that that is a disorder, because a lot of times when you're eating, you're thinking, well, no, I'm eating food, but the pattern in which that you're eating the food is not a typical pattern. So that has to be recognized first. But then to get help, it's hard when you don't look like you're just, I guess, malnourished. So if you still have meat on your bones, if you still look like a healthy weight or even overweight, you're probably not going to receive that help that you need, because there's nothing wrong with you. You could stand to lose a few pounds, so you don't really receive that help that you need.
And there's shame, I would imagine, associated with this. And a lot of us have that shame base where one of our defaults is shame. Right. And so if we're talking about something that goes unaddressed or not talked about, or it's just behind closed doors, how does someone bring it to the forefront if they need to address this and fix it and get help? Like what can we start with as far as a conversation?
Well, it has to come from the person. Like you have to be honest with yourself and what's going on. So I think it's going to take the person to advocate for themselves, because like I said, if you tell someone, well, I think I have this going on with me, and you don't look like you have an eating disorder, they're probably not going to want to help you, because they're like, no, you're fine. You're fine. So it's going to have to take the person that's experiencing it to be honest with themselves and to really advocate for that help. So even if someone shoots them down and say, no, you're fine, you need to say, no, look, this is what's going on. This is not normal, and I need help.
And by advocating for yourself, you mean push until you get the answer you need. And if you're not getting what you need from that doctor or medical professional, find someone else and just keep pushing until you find the right person that takes you seriously
Mm-hmm.
and will help you. Doctors get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And research gets it wrong. And when
Right.
we have better information, we need to push it.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, we have to advocate for ourselves.
Yes.
And so doctors can be intimidating because they do come across as like they know everything. And we've been kind of told that like, well, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to really advocate for yourself. It is okay to ask questions.
Right.
At what point do you just say, this person isn't getting me, I need to find someone else? Like, how long are you going to advocate with that person until you go, I need to go somewhere else?
I think once you tell them what's going on and they're bringing everything back to your weight. So if you're saying, I'm here, I have a headache maybe because I'm not eating enough, and they're saying, well, I think it's fine. That's what happens when you're on a diet. You're looking great. I think when they almost like they're justifying all of those unhealthy behaviors, then that's when you know that you probably need to move on to a different doctor.
Yeah, I got it. And that's good. And there's the saying, if someone's telling you no, you're asking the wrong person. Find the person that's going to tell you yes. That's who you need to work with, because that's the person that's going to take you seriously. I just think that's so important. And sometimes we get better help from strangers. Like our families know us in I would say the best, but they don't. They know their version of us the best.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do have to go outside maybe your circle and find other people that can help you get the confidence or advocate with you for you. Just having that community support. All of us want to be in a positive mindset, and we want joy, and we want happiness, and we can only fake it for so long. And whatever like the underlying issue is, we have to find it. How do we be honest with ourselves? What did you do? You are beautiful, and you came to the realization that this is who you are. This is you at your healthiest. And no one will argue with me when I say you're beautiful, because you are. When did you look in the mirror and realize that truth? And how did you do it?
It took a while because people think that happens overnight, and it doesn't. It took years because you have to stop the unhealthy eating behaviors. Then you have to go on a journey of, well, I think I like what I look like. And then like it just builds over time. So I would probably say it took maybe 3-4 years to get to a point to where I could actually be comfortable and know that, hey, like I may not look like the typical dietitian, but I feel good. I feel healthy. I have a healthy relationship with food. And that's a good version of health that I'm happy with. So it takes time. It takes layers. You have to build on it. And that's okay, because people think that it's going to happen overnight, and it's not. And you can get discouraged because it's not happening as quickly as you would like for it to happen.
You said it took years, and it is a progression, and it is slow. What do you do on the days that you're feeling discouraged? Because we all have those valleys. How do you talk yourself through that to keep going?
Well, yeah, because every day is not always just this positive, great day. But on those days, especially if it's like I call them like a bad body image day or something, I still have to remind myself to still respect my body and still give it appreciation. So it's like my body still needs to eat. I still need to nourish it. Even though I may not like what it looks like today, I still need to take care of it. So sometimes, like, even if you don't like it, you still have to respect it. You still need to take care of it. And I think that's important to remember.
That's so good. That is so good, because showing yourself respect. And if you think about it, there's a lot of people we don't like, like at work, but we have to show them respect because of the position they're in or whatever. We got to do that for ourselves. There may be days we don't like ourselves, whatever it is. We did something stupid and we're beating ourselves up for it, or we ate 3 Oreos, God forbid, and we're just kicking ourselves for a week. And that's not showing self-respect. We hear about self-love, and self-love is so important, but self-respect comes in so many different forms. And I never thought about that. And that is so good. It's not just self-love, it's self-respect. Do you respect yourself enough to have a bad day, get through it, and keep going? That gave me chills. That is so good. And I hope that resonates with other people as much as it just did with me. That is so
It's so
important
important.
to
Yes.
show yourself that
Mhm.
respect.
Yes.
And that is how you get through those valleys, is the love and respect you show for yourself.
Yes.
And taking care, we take care of others.
Mhm.
Let's do that for ourselves.
Yes.
That's so
Exactly.
good. I absolutely love that. You're an entrepreneur, and I imagine at one point you worked for someone else, and now
Yes.
you work for yourself, which
Mhm.
is in itself its own journey, and like
Mhm.
amazing. And I think I think now more than ever would be a great time for women who are thinking about starting their own business to
Yeah.
start their own business.
Yeah.
You don't have to deal with what we're all
No.
about to deal with.
Mhm.
What made you say, I'm going to take that leap of faith?
Mhm.
I'm going to bet it all on me, and I'm going into business for myself, and let's go.
Yeah. Again, that also took a lot of courage because,
Yeah.
like I said, I was posting on social media. So I would post my recipes, and people started asking me about my blog or my website, and I didn't have one. And so I was like, well, let me create some type of website or blog just to put my recipes there.
Mm-hmm.
So once I created the blog, that's what led me to the path of the entrepreneurship because I started getting approached by brands, just other opportunities wanting to actually pay me to do what I was doing, like creating the recipes and connecting with people on social media. And I had no idea that this was any type of career path. And it became so consistent that within a year of starting that blog, I was able to leave my full time job. So that's how it just led into the full time content creation, which led more into advocating for body positivity. So it just kind of opened the board up for everything.
That's incredible. Okay, so you started with, I'm guessing, no knowledge of content creation, and
Yeah.
now you're like the queen of content creation. Can we talk about your Beautifully Social course?
Yes.
So just to tell everybody, Andy's Beautifully Social course is an exclusive 6-week social media and branding course for nutrition professionals, health experts, content creators, and entrepreneurs who are ready to ignite their passion, amplify their voice, and turn their social media presence into a powerhouse of influence and opportunity. Tell
Yes.
us about it.
Well, I'm so excited about it because I really enjoy content creation. I love social media. Some people don't like it. They feel they have to do it to help promote their business. I actually love it.
Okay.
And I love to connect with other people. I would get so many messages and so many emails. Well, how can I put my presence out there? How can I perfect my brand? And I was like, I need to put something together to where I can help people, where I can share some of the things that I've learned over the years. And that's why I put it together to really help people, to give them with those tools and the knowledge to really put themselves out there, to make their voices heard. And that's why I'm so passionate about it because the mission is to help people.
So all the things you learned the hard way, we can learn the easy way with you. And then you also do one-on-one social media branding and coaching too. So we get you, just you. That's worth it right there. So if you want to learn more about Andy and her products, we will have all her information listed in the show notes, including her links to website and all her social media. Thank you so much for doing this. You are amazing. You always provide such wonderful advice, and you put it in a way that's easy for us to understand in an area that most of us are stuck. It's not just the weight, it's the self-love, and like you brought up, the self-respect. And
Yes.
then being able to have that gratitude and that positive outlook
Mhm.
that we need, not just about our body, but our mental health,
Yeah.
our mental well-being, and our spiritual well-being. And they're
Mhm.
all connected. It's so important that we realize that. You help us so much getting on track and
Mhm.
staying on track. You make healthy and nutrition attainable and
Yes.
fun. I appreciate you so much. If there was one little piece of advice you could leave us with, what would you recommend
Mhm.
that would be a first step for someone to finally find that self-love, body
Mhm.
image wise, that's sustainable, that they could build from?
I would say to give yourself grace. Because, like I said, it doesn't happen overnight. It's something that's going to take time to get to. So, the main thing is to give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, the same compassion you would give someone else who's on a really tough journey. Give that to yourself. If you have moments to where you feel like you've fallen off, it's okay. Give yourself compassion and a pep talk and say, let's keep going.
I love it. Thank you so much. And like you had said, and I'm going to say it again, show yourself self-respect. That is so good, Andy. Thank you so much. You're incredible. Thank you for taking the time and having this conversation. It was wonderful.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me today on Moving Mountains in 3-inch Heels. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips for living your best life. Until next time, stay fabulous, and remember, your wellness journey matters. Self-care is a necessity, and it does not require an apology. I'll see you soon.